Every day that passes, I learn a little more. There's always something I've never seen before. It's effortless attention, I'm dreaming all the time. And everything around me filters through my mind.
All right, check.
Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3.
Got the
Good
lines.
morning, good afternoon, good night, evening.
Hello, and welcome to Death is My Life podcast. I'm your host, Jolene, and I am here with Thomas. And he has some interesting stories to share with us. Thomas, can you tell us about yourself and your clinical background, please?
Hi, Jolene. Thank you for having me. Yeah, so I began my nursing career back in 1977 as a Navy Corpsman at a Naval Hospital, Camp Pendleton. And just as a transparency, I should disclose to the audience that we are family.
We are family.
We are
You're
family.
my uncle.
And I am married to Jolene's
godmother.
So that would make Valerie as her godmother and Jolene is her niece. And that's the transparency part.
Yes. Okay. But still, I didn't know Thomas in 1977. So I'm here hearing this story for basically the first time with you guys all.
So I went into the military. I've been having a short career as a lifeguard and a ski patrolman, and I ventured into the recruiting office one day with the United States Navy, and I was interested in medicine, being a paramedic or something like that. And I was recruited, and the guy goes, well, you should become a corpsman, and blah, 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 blah. So I was sent off to Great Lakes, Illinois for training. And from there, I was relocated to Southern California, Camp Pendleton, North San Diego County, and I was assigned to the Naval Hospital there. And my assignment was in the intensive care unit.
Is a corpsman medical?
Yes,
Military medical?
Yeah, so you provided patient care under the direction of the Navy nurses.
Okay.
And so I worked in the intensive care for 2 years. And during that time, I was exposed to people dying. And I really had never seen any traumatic injuries but I did see people die very lingering deaths from alcoholism. Ooh, what a way to go. And
At the Naval Hospital.
Yeah, in the intensive care unit. So these people would come in with ascites, liver failure. Mm-hmm. Man, what a miserable way to go. And that really impacted me as a person.
Yeah. And so as a nurse, I've seen it too, and it's horrible. And I think probably a lot of lay people don't know that it actually affects the ascites, and liver damage affects the brain so much. And these people just
the ammonia level that builds up.
Yeah.
And even to this day, it impacted. After I saw what happened to people who abused alcohol, to this day, I can count the amount of alcohol I drink on one hand, if that. It just impacted me. But moving on, so with there, I reported to the Camp Pendleton Naval Hospital, and whoops, my microphone is slipping off here. I reported to the Naval Hospital in September 1977. I was working in the intensive care unit. And so this happens on January 20th, and it's always impactful because my birthday was January 21st. And we're working in the intensive care unit, and in from the back door comes a young Marine, completely naked, bleeding from his arm, probably where his IV was. Oh, no, we're not bothered at all. We're doing our thing. He comes into the unit, spouts some references, I believe, from the Bible. He was mesmerized by the amount of equipment that was in the room at the time. And there's IV poles going, there's drips going, there's ventilators. And with that, he walks over to the nurse's station and comes up with the shears. Big pair of shears that we always have to look for. We would use them to cut the EKGA strips and paste them into the medical record.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, he goes out the front door. Well, there was like 5 of us on duty, and one of the nurses was a male. And he recruited me, come on, we got to go see where this guy's going.
Yeah. Do you know what he was in there for?
I don't really know. There was all sorts of urban legend after the fact. Head trauma, PCP. I don't know, and we never really did find out the truth. But so me and myself, Lieutenant Berry, go out the door, and we come around the corner, and there's a security guard on the floor, stabbed repeatedly in the chest.
Oh, okay.
And this guy starts, and the security guard tells us, I tried to stop him. I sprayed him with spray. He didn't even stop. And we start tending to this guy, and we patch him up. We get him on a gurney. We take him down to the emergency department. We're on the 4th floor, down the elevator. We come back up on the 4th floor.
And this guy's like at large right now.
At large, but we don't know what's going on because we what seemed like just minutes. Probably it was more than a half an hour. I don't remember the time frame, but we can't come back up on the elevator because it's locked down.
Okay.
So we start coming up the ladder, which in military terms are the stairs, and we get up to the 3rd floor, and we hear like cracking of wood. Well, we don't know it, but the MPs are shooting this guy in the hallway, and some of the bullets came through the door on the 4th floor into the hallway. If we would have been in that landing another 30 seconds earlier, one of us could have been injured by these bullets. Well, that quiets down. We come out on the 4th floor, and there's our Marine again, down, 3 gunshot wounds to his abdomen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we do what we're supposed to do. We start tending to him.
Mm-hmm.
We get him stabilized. We take him down to the emergency room. We leave and we come back up. Now, here's where it got really ugly. I start walking around to see what happened. I walk into one room. They're doing CPR on a woman, an older woman. They're trying to do a venous cut down on her. And they're CPRing her. And I'm like, walk around the head of the bed, and blood is pouring out of her carotid or jugular that had been cut with the scissors during the course of this Marine's attack. And there's a ton of blood on the floor. And I say, hey, she's exsanguinated. That's why you can't get the cut down. And even the surgeon looks over. He goes, oh, put your hand over it. Well, that didn't work. And we worked on her for a while. They gave up. And then I moved on to another. And I had never seen anybody stabbed to death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's not common to see that.
No, it's not common, especially in a hospital. And so that woman was stabbed to death. And then I go into another room where a man had...
I'm sorry, can we go backwards?
Sure.
I know what you're talking about, and you know what you're talking about. But so she was bleeding out, exsanguinous.
Yeah.
And so they couldn't get any IVs in her.
No, they were trying to do a cut down on her. I remember the surgeon at the bedside. He couldn't find a vein. Well, obviously, most of her blood was on the floor.
So they're just like, her veins are like flattened. There's no fluid going through them, so you can't find any access to them.
Really very...
To save her. So she was beyond saving, basically.
Yeah. And she did die eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another patient that we had actually had in the intensive care unit days before who was stabbed to death repeatedly in the chest. No, he was dead.
Days before?
Yeah, days before.
Oh, by somebody else.
No, he was actually an older patient that was in our care, in our intensive care unit. We were taking care of him. Mm-hmm. From there was a med-surg unit adjacent to the ICU. He had downgraded to go there, and this Marine encountered him and proceeded to stab him to death in the chest. repeated wounds in his chest. And I never did anything except to go in there and recognize, oh, this was a patient that we had taken care of.
Oh, no.
And
so this Marine had some kind of trauma causing him to just run around and stab people unprompted.
Yeah. And to this day, there was never we never received any debrief. The only thing I can say is that I ended up taking care of him like days later because he was a patient.
Yep, that's what we do.
And it was really rather bizarre.
And
you
he
had
didn't die.
You had to check your feelings at the door.
Yes, we do.
To render care for this young person that for whatever reason had some psychotic break, whether it was drug driven or...
I thought I read in the article he was just coming out of surgery. So that was wrong?
He may have come out of surgery.
I know anesthesia can do crazy things to your brain. It's not that.
Prior to this event, he was in an automobile accident on base. And he was brought to the Naval Hospital for observations, and he was placed on the med-surg unit. And it was, like I said, it was the first time I've ever seen any trauma, traumatic death. But it didn't stop there. Of course, you have a very young, active population with the Marine Corps. They're always doing crazy things. I remember taking people from medevac helicopter flights, people gravely injured, head injuries, gaping wounds in their bodies, and delivering them to the Naval Hospital in San Diego for more appropriate intervention and care. And like I said, for most of these young men that were severely traumatically injured, there was no saving them. And it was sad because, we tend to stand there clinically, and when they say no more, people just kind of drop it and walk away. There's nobody there to grieve for them or even hold their hand.
Yeah.
Very, very, very sad. But like I said, it formed me as a human being in a way.
So did that Marine who did the stabbing, did he survive being shot?
No, he died like a month later.
A month later, you guys all had to take care of him, put your feelings to the side.
Correct. He was shot 3 times in the abdomen. He eventually died of infection. They went through his bowel. The projectiles went through his bowel. I remember he had to go through the surgery there, and then he was just in the surgical ICU for a month. And it was almost eerie to the day that it was a month after the event. Like I said, it all surrounded my birthday. And I think back, in this day and age, you would have had counseling.
Yes.
People speaking to you about the event.
Yeah.
Nobody even blinked an eye. We just went to work the next day. Never mentioned again. It's very sad in that regard.
Yeah, we're a lot more taken care of emotionally nowadays.
Yeah, and
spiritual care. And there would have been probably somebody from the hospital sitting with him nowadays. Well, happy late birthday.
Oh, thank you. And to this day, I've always said, blood and guts. I can stand there and do anything in blood and guts. And as long as it's not my blood and guts, I'm good to go. I'm the kind of person you would want there. If something tragic happened, I keep my cool.
Yeah.
And like I said, we did all those things you see on TV, CPR. I've done it. Probably did it on more than 50 patients. Break ribs. All the things that go along with that activity.
It is brutal.
It's brutal.
It's brutal if you do it manually. And now they have that big metal compression device that does it and a crunch.
It is brutal, and it's not as easy as it looks.
It doesn't look
or
realistic
when they're doing it on TV. When they're doing it on
They're
TV,
so
it's
gentle. I had a lady once who was like 102 years old or something, and I was like, would you like CPR? I have to go over their pulse, and she's like, as long as they're gentle. Like, No, they're not going to be.
No,
They
it's
can't
not.
be, or they can't reach your heart.
It's not gentle.
It's not.
You're going to be sore if you survive.
Yeah.
So
Do you have a yucky thing? Like most nurses have like something that they just can't do.
your aunt is like that. No, like I said, blood and guts,
Yeah.
whether it's blood, feces,
Mhm.
brains,
Mhm.
doesn't bother me. I just go ahead and do what I can do.
Yeah, we do.
So I worked in the OR for 6 months. I was an LVN at the time. I worked in the OR, and then I went on to finally got my nursing, my RN, and then from there you're banished up to the med-surg floor for the night shift for God knows how long. Worked on those med-surg floors, worked in acute psych for a year. Nothing really interesting there. It's more of a chronic illness that people never seem to ever get better from.
Psych and depression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see. I worked at the Del Mar Fair as a nurse.
Ooh, fun.
All these fun things you can do as a nurse. I worked
Heat stroke.
yeah,
all
right.
day.
Heat stroke. Or the most traumatic one was the two girls that didn't get unhypnotized from the mass hypnotize. We actually had to call the act, and he unhypnotized them on the phone. So it was really kind of fun and interesting there. Let's see, I worked on movie sets behind the scenes as a a medic or first aid nurse.
Wow.
That was always down in San Diego. I was connected with a woman who was connected with the Hollywood industry, and I would work for her. Worked at sporting events.
And have you volunteered up at the mountain?
I have not done
you
anything
didn't
at
do
the
that.
mountain.
Okay,
No,
I did.
absolutely nothing at the mountain. I was going to work there as what they call the host, but it didn't pan out, so that's okay. Just this year I gave up my Oregon nursing license.
Oh,
just because I'm not going to use it anymore. I still have my California. That expires next year.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm going to renew it.
Oh, mine's up for renewal. It's so expensive.
Although I do recognize there's benefits that come along with the license when you're shopping. And some of the people, some of the organizations offer discounts to medical people. But I'm also a veteran, so that gets me there.
It'll probably get you a better discount anyway.
Yeah, so it's been a real interesting career. And then I started working, and then it turned into an administrative role. So we've talked about this before. When I worked for the state of California, we do inspections in the hospitals and nursing homes for compliance with Medicare rules.
Yep.
That was...
We talked about it when I took a job as director of nursing, and he's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then I'm like, "I'm quitting because I don't like being surveyed."
It's a different job, going from being that caring, touching person to somebody that's enforcing rules and regulations. It takes a different mindset, and that took me about 2 to 4 years to make that shift and feel comfortable about what I was doing.
Yeah.
But eventually that's how I met your aunt.
Yes. You surveyed her?
That's correct.
Yes.
I was in the hospital at Scripps Green.
I guess she passed.
Right. That's what everybody says. They did pass, but it wasn't a pass or fail. It's more of, we cite how you were non-compliant in various areas.
And give you a chance to improve.
And you fix it. That's all.
Yeah.
But we waited till everything was done. Then we informed our chain of command as we moved along that we were dating. And needless to say, I was banished from her hospital.
That is so funny, because when the surveyors would come into my building, it's like not a feeling of attraction.
Correct. It's quite a different story. I know.
Yes.
People are always amazed at the regulator
Yeah.
hooked up with the provider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty rare.
I always tried to do that job in a meaningful and important way, and not just nitpick on things, because you could nitpick people to death on stuff, and
Yeah.
I want to find things of value and things of importance, and say, hey, this isn't working, and this is how you can fix it. I always share with them a best practice.
Yeah.
We would go to many different institutions and see best practices. And why not share that with people? Because we were all in the same pathway, believe it or not, to provide quality and safe patient care.
Right. And I would hope, like, some surveyors would just nitpick everything, like you said, and like one-time slip-ups. Like, we know that's wrong. Why don't you look for patterns?
Yeah.
Exactly. Patterns of, things that we could change. If we slip up one time, like, we probably have already fixed it. Don't need to be cited on it.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Not everybody would. But it's hard enough. Like, nursing is extremely hard. Administrative nursing is extremely hard to keep everybody, it's hard enough without those little things. So, but I do agree that, sure, there should be some regulation and patterns of not worthiness.
So and I just want to back up a little bit more to so once again, growing up, my grandmother passed away, my grandfather passed away. Like I say, we were a Roman Catholic family. You'd go to the funeral, to me it was blah, blah, blah.
Open
blah,
casket.
Blah. Yeah. You'd have the opportunity to.
So you weren't shielded from death.
No.
Were you involved in the decline and the death and the dying process?
Correct.
Yes.
Never shielded from it. My father died in hospice, and it's interesting because he was 72 when he passed away, and that was down in California, and I'm 71, so I'm marking my time. And I go, I'm pretty sure I'll...
Is that 144 years ago?
Right. Pretty sure I'll pass my father's age easily.
Yeah, I mean, you're very healthy and active.
You can't help. And okay, my father was that age when he passed away. So his hospice death was ugly. But the people there that came to him were compassionate, caring individuals.
Good. Yeah. I should probably look into this for a podcast episode, but like the history of hospice.
I did it during that administrative. We actually surveyed a hospice hospital in San Diego. Very unique place. It was totally different rule set, and it was interesting. It was actually a more educational opportunity for me to see something different than your average hospital, and it was a nice place, well funded, and like I said, it was a different cat in the equation of looking at places.
Is it like our hospice house here?
I don't know what your hospice house.
A hospice house.
Is it an inpatient facility?
It's inpatient, full staffed.
Yes.
We're only allowed to have a certain amount per capita, but hospice patients go there, get comfortable. They have their own internal pharmacy. Same thing. I would call it a hospice hospital.
Right. I would say, and that's actually the coding in Medicare is a hospice hospital. Okay. And so, yes, it was wow. Yeah, it was beautiful. I don't even think we wrote anything violations for anything because couldn't find any.
I think ours was like that too. It's very.
Where is
very
that located?
Nice. It's behind the hospital. It used to be smaller, like 6 beds, and it's grown tremendously. They rebuilt it. They actually built a new building. I think my dad built part of the cabinets and stuff. And it's gorgeous, and it's very accommodating for families. Everybody has huge rooms with, built-in oxygen and everything. You can need lifts. It's very, very nice. Family rooms outside with.
It sounds like the way to, and that's the way to do it. Make it as nice as they can.
But a lot of people have the misconception that when you go on hospice, you go to a hospital like that, but it's acute. It's for symptom management of hospice. Hospice is always home-based. in this state. I don't know if there's other states that actually have a long-term hospice facility.
Yeah. I know we do in California, in the city of San Diego. Once again, when I was doing that administrative role, I did do the hospice home health care facilities. You know, we would go to your office and look at papers, and occasionally we go to patients' houses and make sure that the care they were getting was as they expected.
Yeah. Bag technique. Did you have to watch people do their bag technique?
And we would watch people do. We would see that everywhere. We would see that everywhere. Bad, B-A-D, right?
Bag,
yes.
B-A-G.
No,
because
I
we
don't.
have to carry our supplies into the homes.
Yes.
Lay drapes down on the ground.
Right. I did.
Not the ground.
Thank you for clarifying that. B-A-G. Yes, I did see the bag technique. I always wondered, scratch my head. Wow, what are they doing? Okay.
It's extensive training we have to bring our supplies in and out of homes and our cars.
Cross-contaminate anything,
we don't
my God.
Do that. I know Dylan he was borrowing my car and he brought my bag inside and put it on the kitchen counter, and I'm like, no! You know where that's been? It's been on drapes in perfectly clean and sterile environments. Yes. Nursing is fun. It's so extensive. So my daughter's just doing her prerequisites for nursing, and she's like, I didn't realize all the things you can do as a nurse.
Oh, man, tell her to call me.
Crazy.
I mean, really.
She's lazy.
I tell you, I've done so much.
The fair, she would love that.
Yeah,
Every time she goes to the fair, she goes to the nurse.
It was a great gig. And people there have a good time. And occasionally somebody, it would be, like you say, sunburn, headaches.
Yeah.
People would come in, they need a Kotex or a tampon, whatever,
Yeah,
and,
or they got sick on the ride.
Right, and the girls that didn't get unhypnotized, that was a good one.
That's so crazy.
But like I said, I had a great time working at that unit. Like I said, used to work I did a couple of rave concerts, believe it or not.
Fun.
Yeah. And of course, I wasn't
Dehydration.
I wasn't at the rave. Right. I wasn't at the rave. I would be sequestered in the first aid office, but even then, the office would be shaking with the vibes from.
That sounds like fun. See, I haven't done quite as much as you've done.
It was fun. All that stuff was. I would take. Oh, the other one I worked at in Carlsbad. They had a boys' prep school, grades 7 through 12.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the kids there were on various medications, and they would have to come in and get their meds before class. Or I would always work on the weekends, and it was nothing really too much to do. The kids would come in and get their meds and disappear off for the weekend. Yeah. But I could do some preventive medicine
Nice.
with these kids.
Favorite.
And the kids would come in and they would be going, they want to go down the beach. I go, where's your sunscreen? Well, we don't need that. And sure enough, the kids who didn't have sunscreen would not be attending class the next Monday because we're all sunburned.
Do you remember when we visited you?
Yeah.
Dylan and his daughter were like, we don't need sunscreen. I'm like, have you been to the San Diego sun? It's different than the Oregon sun. The next 2 days they couldn't move.
Right. I remember they were sunburned. Yes, very good. And you worked there for and that was real fun. And they would have camp during the summer.
Yeah.
So it was different kind of atmosphere, but always a fun place to work.
Camp, so fun.
But like I say, for the most part, my acute care hospital setting, just people dying medically.
What does that look like? What do you think that is? So we talked last night with my friend Steven about the life force leaves the body, but then there's the medical aspect too. Like, okay, the heart stops, and what happens when a patient dies or person dies? Yeah,
you had touched about that when you were talking about the spirituality or afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a big proponent of that. I have a friend that's a devout Hindu. I know you had another Hindu practitioner on it. And I've always, with the amount of deity they have a deity for everything. And it's quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And he lives over on the Big Island of Hawaii. I communicate with him frequently. He was my former boss working for the state of California.
have to go see him and do a podcast episode.
You know, I have been meaning to venture over there and see him.
Yeah, cool.
But like I said, he's devout. He makes pilgrimages over to Kauai because there's another temple over there. And he posts on Facebook all the time and various Hindu philosophies and stuff. And it's intriguing for me, but coming from that Roman Catholic background, I went to Catholic school.
Yeah.
And people said, then the priests, they never bothered me. It was the nuns that would beat you to death.
I heard they were vicious.
I was beaten. And I was probably...
Spare the child.
I was probably ADHD at the time, but nobody knew it.
That wasn't allowed.
Yeah, right.
You get hit with a ruler.
And so even to this day, I'm going to track back to your astrophysicist friend who came and visited.
Thanks, Jeffrey. Show me the evidence.
And one of my favorite people was an author and a person named Carl Sagan, astrophysicist. And he wrote a book called Cosmos. And within that context, he speaks about us being made from stardust and returning to that stardust.
Joni Mitchell.
When your atoms, you go to particles.
Yes, you're going to love my conversation from last night.
Yes. And I tend to think that's where I'll be heading when my time comes. I don't see myself as an afterlife. I don't see myself as a spiritual person going to another level.
So you think your atoms will split and
yes.
you'll just divvy on back up to the earth and space and cosmos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My preference would be, my spouse knows this, is to be cremated and scattered at sea.
In Hawaii.
Anywhere in the ocean will work.
Sure.
You know, and that's where we talk about, we're up here for the winters. I'm most comfortable and at home. And that's where my meditative place is. I get out in the ocean. I'll go out in the water for a period of time. And for me, I try and share with people the analogy. It's like going to church. Even though I don't go to a formal church, I go there. Where is it? I'm communing with dolphin, pelican, underwater life. You're real close and up close and personal, and it's super calming for me. And that's where I'm most at peace with myself. There's a song, I can't remember, I think Little River Band. I was born under the sign of water, and that's where I feel my best. And I'm an Aquarius. I am an Aquarius.
Pisces.
And I'm up in the mountains here. I'm always a little blah. We'll go back.
It's dry.
We're going
desert,
back.
High desert.
Right. We're going back next week.
For
Ava's birthday's coming up.
Happy birthday, Ava.
She'll be 9. She's very sweet.
So sweet. Okay. Oh, I'm going to give you I have something from Horizon for her.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah, I'll get to you before you go. I think too, I agree that I feel the most connected with spirit or your inner self, whatever it is in nature. It's hard to feel that inside for me. Inside a church, you're I feel so compressed, but outside you're well, this is amazing. Outside in nature. Cool.
I've got some Christian friends, and I've gone to their church a couple of times, and the music is usually too loud, and it's wow, very, very interesting.
They're trying to make it cooler. With
I don't think they're trying to make it. They're singing praise. I don't connect with them.
More interesting,
I don't connect with them, but they're still my friends, regardless of how they worship, who they are. They're still friends. Doesn't matter.
So you don't follow your Catholic?
No,
at all anymore.
Non-denominational.
Yeah.
I've been to temple. I've been to synagogues. I've been to church. I've been to the Christian church. The only thing I would like to go to a Buddhist facility. I know there's a couple down in my neighborhood in Carlsbad.
Oh, and you haven't been yet?
Yeah. And the Buddhists, I know the lady across the street from me in Carlsbad is a practicing Buddhist.
Oh, really?
We've chatted a couple of times.
Cool.
And so, yeah, whatever's out there, I'm always looking.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much variations in a way. It's, who knows, in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Islam.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many people in the world that are Islam. Who knows? We'll find a place.
Yeah. And historically, too, there were so many different belief structures throughout time. Yeah. And they were all kind of similar.
Yes, they are all kind of similar in a way.
Similarities. A lot of differences, but a lot of similarities, you know. It seems like all of humanity is kind of seeking something.
If you ever get a chance, pick up or take a look at the Carl Sagan Cosmos.
I wrote it
And
down
you're too
here,
young.
yeah.
You probably weren't. It came out in 1980. I don't think you were quite there yet.
No.
The best part was that he did a piece on. It came on PBS, and it was a series called Cosmos, based on the book, and he got to explain it face to face, and it was really, like I say, marked me for life.
Cool.
And of course I read the book accordingly.
Yeah, I would love to read that. I will definitely look into it. Thank you. Yes. So what do you think what happens when you die? You already said your atoms are dispersed.
Yeah,
what does it look like medically, though?
Medically?
Like, what do you see from the nursing perspective? What does end of life look like? How can you tell a person's dead?
Yeah. So
besides the stabbing victims,
right. No, I know what you mean.
Death?
I know what you mean. So you get that agonal breathing going on, right? Which is that very creepy, and then you get this dying pulse, and it's it's to see that and be at the bedside, and you no longer can do anything or should do anything. Sad. And hopefully there's people there that want to hold the patient's hand, whether it be family or even a staff member. I was always uneasy doing that because I felt like I was too clinical at that point in time. Okay, they're dying. It's time to let it go and move on to the next thing. And I didn't intervene emotionally. That's what it looked like for me.
We're kind of somewhat trained to do that, right? We have to maintain our composure and do what we can. There's nothing we can clinically do at some point. Then we have other patients to see. I get that. I remember one time when I was a CNA, this was like probably, besides family, like one of my first clinical patients, I was a CNA. I wasn't a CNA for very long because I got my CNA license like during my first year of nursing. It was part of the curriculum. So then I just thought it'd be a good experience. So I went and got the license, and I was working as a CNA, and I was helping this patient. I think he was like the ascites liver failure. And then all of a sudden he flopped back on his bed and started doing the fish breathing. It looks like a fish. You're kind of gasping for air. And he went from talking to that. But thankfully I had a good little CNA. I had noticed his pulse when I walked in the room, was DNR. And so I held him and prevented him from falling off the bed. And I remember a nurse ran by and was like, "Code blue." And I was like, "No, he's a DNR." And I just held him until the nurse got there and then went on to my next patient. And yep, that's what you do. Take a breath and then go help somebody else, I guess.
We do have a family member that's in a facility now, and people are asking me questions about the quality of care. And of course, it's skilled nursing, so.
You have a family member in a skilled nursing right now?
Yeah.
In California?
No, they're up in Washington. So.
It's hard.
And I'm trying to advise them accordingly. And I say, a squeaky wheel gets the grease, Go in there, talk to people, make sure make
Be
sure they
nice.
know that you know.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, that's the way it works, unfortunately. But we'll see. I don't think this person's too much longer for the world anyway. 96. We'll see.
Yeah, not hospice yet.
Oh, that's it. They're talking. So that was part of the conversation that came up. They were all the misconceptions that people have about hospice. That, well, we were explaining it to them how it works, and so they're in the skilled nursing facility, and the hospice would be an adjunct to the skilled nursing facility care.
You can send them my podcast episode. I just
right,
explained hospice very well.
I will. It was great. It was great. Very good.
Yeah, thank you. I was like, what? I don't know. I started this podcast. I'm like, what am I going to talk about? And I was like, why don't I say what I say like literally every day? Yeah.
Say what you know.
Say
That's
what
exactly
I know.
it.
I know.
One of the sayings I used to use all the time is, I know what I don't know. And therefore, I'm not going to comment on that.
Yeah. Yes, but that's what I do know. And I think it's amazing that how many people don't know. You know, like we know something so well, and then when somebody else doesn't, it's like almost hard to explain. So, like, let me just go head to toe hospice. This is what it is. Here you go on a golden platter. You know, I think I'm so biased to hospice. You know, I think it's great to die in your own home with these services that you said are in. With everything else, we don't take away anything.
I couldn't believe it when I stumbled across the podcast. I go, what a perfect title. I go, well, what genius, I said. I go running into Valerie. I go, hey, look at this is Jolene's podcast. Death is my life. And first she frowned. I go, well, death is her life. She's a hospice nurse. So, wow, what a great, I thought that title was mind blowing when I came across it.
Yeah, I was talking to Aunt Chris about it, and she's like, yeah, I thought it was weird at first, and then I listened, and I'm like, oh,
right.
That makes sense. Like, I mean,
it's exquisite. Rewarding, compassionate, empathetic, all the qualities of nurses that that's what you want out of people. It's funny because I tell people, my sister is law enforcement. My one sister's law enforcement, and I'm the nurse. We always say, I used to play with Barbie, and she used to play with G.I. Joe. But yeah, it's a little twist, and I don't know why that happened. There was nothing in our upbringing that we could ever examine that steered us. But I just from day one, I was always interested in helping people or doing something. That's how I ended up in my pathway.
Yeah. Well, you're very calm and collected, and you would I could see how you'd be a great bedside nurse. She's probably more assertive and outspoken.
It's funny you should say that because I worked in acute rehab for many years inside the hospital. And if you don't know that setting, it's where people come to after a disability. So you could have an amputation, spinal cord injury, stroke, some kind of debilitating disease, and you need to learn how to live with it. And within that context, you would work with OT, occupational therapy, physical therapy, psychology. Yeah. And this is all for the patient. Yeah. And of course, there's a doctor in there that's called a physiatrist. And that's a special of rehabilitative medicine. Yeah. And it's a super cool place to work because people usually just get better, and there's a lot of teaching to get done, and you get to see people over time get better and go out and live their life. And a really cool environment. I spent 7-8 years in that, and I found my place. And I remember one time the kid's mother came up to me. I had more than one, but the kid's mother came up to me. She goes, you're doing, and I still get goosebumps when I say this, you're doing what you should be doing with your life. And she was taking care of people. And here, take my paycheck. I don't need it after that. Just very rewarding, very gratifying. And it was a great niche of nursing that I had a fun time working in that. And plus, the patients would be out of your hair for 3 or 4 hours a day. Out of an 8-hour day, they were off at PT, OT.
Oh, good. They get picture.
So, break time. It was good.
Yeah, it's like night shift. Get some breaks.
Night shift. Oh,
Night shift.
I was never good at that. I always thought I could work the night shift and then go surfing the next morning. I'd be dead.
It's very
I had no energy.
I don't remember the drive here.
Right. Or going to work when everybody's going home. The night shift. Going to work when the sun was going down.
Oh, so weird.
I could never get adjusted to that nocturnal schedule. And I did it for about half a year, and I was a wreck.
I did it for a long time, and I don't think it was, I don't think I did it well. You know,
Yeah,
like
I don't think I
intermittent
did.
sleep during the day.
Yeah.
Try to figure it out during the night. I've been picking up night shifts, but it's on call.
Right,
So I can
right.
do that better because I'm like, you know, I've got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, so I'm kind of on the on and off sleep cycle during night.
Right.
So on call is more tolerable than trying to the whole wake all night. That's hard. And that's hard, but it needs to be done. We're one of the few positions that require 24-hour Christmas, weekends,
Yeah.
nights.
But that must be kind of good if you can go on a on call for 24 hours for Saturday, Sunday, and then you're done, right, for the rest of the week almost.
Oh man, I used to have that, and I was so spoiled. Now I'm like kind of fighting. It's almost like we have a really good team who wants to work, so we're all fighting for the on-call night position, night shifts, which is great for, like, you know, I love it for patient care. We're never lacking for staff, really. I mean, my boss might say differently, but I could see all the staff, you know, as soon as a request goes out for a night shift, people jump all over it. But it's great because it is, you know, you get paid to a certain amount for standby time, and then you get paid a little bit more, like time and a half or whatever, if you have to go out.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. I used to work the Baylor plan, which was it was great. It was,
you thought it was good?
it was 2 shifts every weekend, 2 12-hour shifts.
Yeah.
They pay you for 40.
Oh.
And then I was running wild Monday through Friday.
Oh, that sounds great.
Man, it was great. And I was single at the time, and so it was ideal for me. I loved that, and it with no complaints. Like I say, you couldn't beat that. That was a great program.
Well, thank you for all the information and the time.
Well, thank you for having me. It was very nice. I wish I could give a little more, but I think I've given all I can give
for today.
All right.
Think of
now we'll see if
more.
we get Aunt Val in here. Ooh. That's right. I said, we should do it together. I said, no. She doesn't need to be in a podcast. She said, I go, well, you know, it'd be interesting to hear what you have to share. You have a lifelong experience. Last night we're watching the golfing tournament, and it's at Torrey Pines, which is the hospital's right there.
I worked there.
And she would go, she goes, there's my office. There's my office. All right.
Oh, I know. So I worked at her hospital when she was unit manager, and then I got a job in the kitchen when I was 18. And
I've heard this story.
Worked my way up, and then I became the secretary. And
I've heard this story.
Going and going and going. Yeah, so I've been in healthcare my whole
adult life. And then look at, we had your grandmother was a nurse.
Yeah.
Your aunt. Your semi-uncle, meaning me.
Yeah. I know. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for your service to our country and all the people you helped. And thanks for being here.
Thanks again for having me, Jolene.
Thank you.
Every day that passes, I learn a little more. There's always something I've never seen before. It's effortless attention. I'm dreaming all the time, and everything around me filters through my mind. Somewhere in my memory, I got impressions of every moment since I came to be. I was born to fill up the space I occupy and bring the story back with me. of immortality